Hello and welcome. You are watching Don Bosco Media Network. This is Deepika Lingdor bringing to you the news and events from Meghalaya. Here are the headlines for today. Partial reopening of schools from Class 1 to Class 5 with immediate effect. ENJC urged the government for CBI inquiry on the death of the 6 miners in East Janga Hills. And restoration of forest and river in Umpung village with Robertson Basan and his team, Dr. Bremley W.B. Lingdor. And now the news in detail. In the review meeting held today, few decisions were taken by the state government in connection with the current situation when the state is still fighting against the virus. Speaking to the media fraternity, Shri Preston Tinsong informed that though day curfew is fully relaxed, but the night curfew will still continue until further orders.
COVID-19, as you are all know. So today we had a review meeting and few decisions were taken. Number one, night curfew, because you know well, night curfew was, imposed from 11 o'clock up to 5 o'clock in the morning. The curfew will still continue. The night curfew will still continue till further order.
The Deputy Chief Minister Preston Tinsong informed that the public transport as far as Shillong city is concerned, the rotational basis is withdrawn and 100% plying of public vehicle is allowed, which allows the odd and even numbers for all local taxis to ply. Whereas for the private vehicles, the rotational basis still applies.
Shillong city is concerned, the previous order, which was issued by Transport Department on rotational basis, which means odd and even number. Today we decided to withdraw this, and public transport will no longer be restricted. 100% will be allowed to be on the road with immediate effect. Relating to private transportation, odd and even number will continue till further order.
Relating to religious places, Shri Preston Tinsong informed that the religious places are allowed with 75% from the total capacity that religious places can accommodate.
As you are all aware, we allowed that time 1/3 from the total capacity of each local church or each worshipping or religious places. This time, we allowed 75%. It is no longer 1/3, but 75% from the total strength of the members will be allowed in the religious or worshipping places with immediate effect.
Relating to activities like fishing competitions, youth programs, fete and other fundraising activities, Shri Preston informed that these activities are allowed with compliance to the SOP issued by the concerned departments.
Raffle draw, youth week or any types of fundraising activity, that also is now allowed. And this, these relaxations made is again, let me just repeat it very clearly, these relaxation made by the government is again subjected to compliance, complete compliance of the SOPs to be issued by the concerned department along with the health department. SOPs will always be in place till the vaccination is coverage is completed. SOPs still will be in place.
Relating to hostels and creches, Shri Tinsong informed that these are allowed to be operational with immediate effect.
Government has issued restriction on opening up of hostels, and still that time we did not allow hostels to be operationalized. And today in the review meeting we decided that hostels will be allowed to reopen with immediate effect. Then the crèches, that time we did not allow even crèches, and this time private crèches is also allowed to again reopened in the entire state.
Relating to social gathering in the village or locality level, Sri Tensong informed that 75% of the attendees are allowed to attend
like
such.
Dorbar, meetings, Dorbar functions, whatever functions in the village level or in the locality level, whatever. Again, now from 1/3, because that also was restricted to 1/3 capacity, this one also is increased to 75%, where the capacity of the attendees is allowed. 75% of the attendees is allowed.
Relating to reopening of schools, partial reopening of schools are allowed from class 1 to class 5 with immediate effect. Consultative classes with the students with strict adherence to health protocols, Shillong, Jowai and Tura.
Meaning class 1 to class 5. That time we still did not allow Shillong, Jowai, Tura for reopening of the classes, class 1 up to class 5. So in the review meeting, again the government has decided to allow class 1 to class 5 with immediate effect for partial reopening. Let me just explain to you. Partial reopening means the concerned school authority can have a consultative classes with the students, but not in a regular basis. It's only partially opening of such schools. And this again, SOPs should be also strictly compliant as per the notification issued by the health department. And this, as I said, this school, primary school, class 1 to class 5, it's only for Shillong, Jowai and Tura. Because till today, we did not allow the school authority to open up their school, be it fully or be it partially. But with immediate effect, it is allowed, and we will communicate to all the management, school management authority. We leave it to their wisdom, but from the government side, we will allow them to start their school partially, class 1 to class 5. So these are the decisions taken by the government today.
Tensong also informed that sports activities with 75% out of 100% participants are also allowed.
Now, all sports activities is allowed, but again, the restriction is 75%. For those people who participate, means who goes to the playground for watching the sports activities, again, the number of attendees is again restricted. Not 1/3 anymore, but 75%.
Relating to tourist spots, Tensong informed that tourist spots are allowed to reopen with no restriction. Prior restriction, which does not allow children below 10 years of age and senior citizens to visit such places, is being lifted.
No more restriction is imposed, and restriction has been lifted again with immediate effect. And also we allowed children below the age of 10 years who accompany their relative or their parents or whatever along with the senior citizens, it is now allowed for visiting the tourist spots in different parts of the state.
Tensang further informed that private business organization or office is also allowed to be functionalized with no restrictions imposed.
As far as private business organization office is concerned, again, this also has been lifted. There is no more restriction. 100% attendance is allowed with immediate effect.
The ENJC, in a press conference today, expressed discontentment over the indecisive nature of the state government. Speaking to the media, the president of the ENJC, Sambormi Lingdo, said, "This is a democratic country. The state has to listen to the voice of the people." From the organization, they don't want to file another FIR. For the last 1 week, there is no progress in finding the legitimate owner of the quarry where the 6 miners died. Therefore, they urge the government to go for CBI inquiry since most of the people in the state are eager to know the truth and who is at fault.
Marman hagani hagapor sim statement lagi press sim statement ni gitu ki bahayeng jong gitu bakla ki tho bagani ki pada yong ke di jongu ba tiu ba jong ba bison tare ni pat ni dawa ban long daga sibayan bairi mengin lap kan kadai sisa bagi dei itu ki breu na la dei ki we ro bale ke slam ban pau ro menta iman ka don ke ke salendet ting dawa ban ai daga sibayan bairi khang bakan long sai ye ngem la ban ong ba kadai jong no ringi kwa menta ba ke police department imat bakam la ban le ringi kwa bangin yo daga sibai ke inquiry khang bakan long sai tare ke balangor ko we ke tar ba kumno gitu kira karo ginot man panpau ke kerteng gitu gibro la rajia begini gibro kembe gitra ke kontra iku do gam pi tanda hedo mentan ngile ngim ko so ban air ke FIR mari polis kelaya jekma ringi ko sendon ba ka government ni kan ai lagi inquiry i jong CBI inquiry kana bakan isai ngatrai bro ipai ba jong celar gi ko mantip mano buron kiti ha jingi dewa ngi jingi sia paling simpor police department hado arti yang menta kapat lap yo to try daw yom badi kita kibre gubrong tiban kon try kita kwari.
Meghalaya legislator David Nongrum, who represents the Mawrangkring constituency, passed away this morning at Nonggrum's hospital at Mawdyangdyang in the outskirts of Shillong city. Nongrum passed away due to cardiac arrest. Late Nongrum is the son of Meghalaya legislator and senior Congress leader Charles Pingrop. Late Nongrum followed his father's political career when he contested the assembly election and won the Mawrangkring seat as an independent MLA in 2013. From then on, late David contested the Mawrangkring constituency assembly from Congress ticket and won the seat by a margin of 3,763 votes against the People's Democratic Front's Highlander Karmalki. Condolence messages pour in from different personalities in the state to express their condolence to the bereaved family. Speaking to the media, Father John Mador expressed that it is a great loss to the state since late David has contributed a lot to the society in different ways.
David Nongrum, MLA jongka Mawrangkring, Akarta kepadang kena, ki kam ki bobon ki padang dai panle, ki jikwa ki bobon badai berpendap nak peta ke jai sekrip bai ba, andrai ka jingyap kalawan rong noi kendet ke kapan kendet lang yang baru namanya dang kami lenti nau new nong yalam badang samla badang klain unang la banai sibon ka jesekri ya ki bobon ki balang ki bai ba te lakat taru mi pendam akamon ke jong blai bat ngi ai ka jingku blai ngaulan ya ikmi ki khun jong i ki khun ki ti bai yang asam kham tam e kpa jong i ba Charles Pingrop i balong i MLA
Dr. Mukul Sangma said, late David Nongrum was a great person who works by his principles, who can easily connect with the people. His sudden demise has left a void in the hearts of his beloved.
Because one of the leaders of the state and one of our dear friends have left us. And In fact, we are shattered and deeply grieved with this untimely demise of our beloved colleague, David Nongrum. We have met the family, we have condoled this untimely passing away of our colleague, and subsequently as CLP we have met here to remember him. We fondly remember his contributions, which cannot be quantified in as far as his contributions for the upliftment of the people and the state as a whole is concerned. I have known him for a very long time, even before he was elected as a member of our August House. He was actively involved in politics in our party. Subsequently, he contested as an independent candidate and he was elected by people. Obviously, because people knew him well, he was well connected with the masses, and the second time he was re-elected as the member of the Congress party with substantial margin, if you recollect, which again reflects how popular he was amongst his beloved electorates. And I had known him as a passionate and as a very committed leader who would leave no stone unturned to ensure that he is able to fulfill the aspirations of his people. You can yourself see the quantum of development that has taken place in the first innings that he had as an elected representative of his constituency. I myself have witnessed him launching some of the programs which were offshoot of his endeavor in convincing the government to really understand the needs of the people. And I'm sure we could have done much more had he been still alive. We will remember him for a long time, and vacuum that he has left obviously will be very difficult to fill. Not really easy to have these kind of leaders who is available round the clock for the people, particularly the people who belong to the vulnerable group, the downtrodden. We condole his passing away, and we will be with the family. Our prayers are with the family and all those beloved electorates who have elected him twice.
Dr. Amperine Lingdo also expressed that it is a great loss to the family as well as the state. The legacy left behind by late David Nongrum will be imprinted in the hearts and minds of his beloved.
But David is a simple man. He was a man who was very approachable. He was very fiery at the same time. He was an individual who actually was willing to forget his own needs and requirements. Till yesterday, he was witnessed to be seen in a funeral of a constituent in his constituency. So this is the kind of legacy that he has left behind. I join hands with my CLP in delivering this message of great sense of loss to his family, his people. Kasorong kham kaladu, yung nong yalam, ubadang kena, ubadang day banlong ubriu ubala, ban syarai, bat ban kieu, yang ketiga constituency. Ipendem hakmat kataka hukum ublay But ni barabor kum ki kristan lah hikaya ni bangin long barabor kita kiba pam judo jengkernan. But ni nget poblay try kenrat unwan lam kataka jing shong that kebajanai om tang ya i ya kam sim jong iba David ibala i no lingi re kam tam lele ya ka constituency hi borok ko wei wa hakani ka por o betum ha ulaka ya ka constituency re kumbangi ju i haki por ke bala let ba ublay ushim re ublay pen biang tidak kata kecing kermen kristan nginget ba ublay halor tam ba kraw tam utip ya ka e bula le ba ni pha ya ka ne ka kerwo jing ngolem om tang sya ka yen ka sen jung i sya i pa jung i pa Charles Pungro sya ka kurim jung i bat sya barok kinong song jong ka som kham constituency ba nginget ba iba David hi in yalam den ti yangi nalen bat in sa ayengi kidak kishin kumno ban pendep ikikam ibala ila e no shite.
As the pandemic took its toll on planet Earth the previous year, yet there's something good to see in the small and simple things we do every day. This time, we bring to you a story from Umpung village in southwest Khasi Hills, contributed by none other than the one who is generous enough to work for beautifying and preserving Mother Nature, Dr. Bremley W.B. Lingdor. Umpung, a place in southwest Khasi Hills, famous for its scenic beauty. To reach Umpung, one has to cross few villages from Maungap, Umni River and pass the lush green mountain range close to the border of Bangladesh. This place is mostly covered with mist and clouds throughout the year. Umpung village, which is 30 kilometers in diameters, covering 20 villages with about 80 kilometers or more or less circumference-wise. Dr. Bremley is working along with the locals on agro-horticulture spices and tree plantation in this particular area. The actual amount of trees planted in the last 3 years had crossed the 5 lakh mark.
Umpung River. Actually, this Umpung village is the place where we've started our reforestation projects. We've planted about 200,000 trees all around this Bangladesh border area. Different species of native species of trees with Robertson Basan and his team. And currently he's in Nongrum village, which is on the other side near Ranikor, and we'll be meeting him in other days. But I'm very happy to see that he's been working to protect this freshwater ecosystem, this river, from upstream, to clean up all the plastics around this area, because there are a lot of tourists that come here, but they leave a lot of beer bottles and and other bottles and plastics, and it's really an eyesore in this beautiful ecosystem. So we need to clean up all the plastics from our rivers so it doesn't lead to the sea. We need to restore all these precious ecosystems from the highlands to the lowlands and create jobs for our young people. So I'm very happy to be collaborating with the Hill Farmers Union that has got active units and circles all along the border areas from the Assam side to the Bangladesh side. And the Bangladesh border is just a few kilometers from here. But you can see the beauty of this river and the sound of the stream flowing down. But in the summer months, the water rises up by 50 feet, pretty high up. And it almost touches that bridge that we've just crossed today. So this is the force of nature that we need to work with and protect this beautiful ecosystem for generations to come in our land. Thank you very much. This is Bremley Lingdor signing off from Umpung. So welcome to Umpung River. This river looks clean and crystal clear. Comes up from the highlands of East Khasi Hills and goes all the way down to the Bangladesh border. We found a lot of people fishing downstream, and that's the bridge we crossed to come down to this beautiful beach around here. But sadly, we found a lot of plastics and beer bottles along the way, and we need to educate and raise the awareness of the people, especially the tourists coming from outside, not to destroy destroy the beauty of this ecosystem, this beautiful river ecosystems, by leaving a lot of their trash around the banks here. So a lot of education needs to happen, and a lot of mountain ecosystem restoration needs to happen in the highlands, where a lot of deforestation has happened over the last 3 decades. This is Brahmi Lingdot signing off.
Speaking to Bapan Hun Sanglin Basan, an entrepreneur, it is understood that this place has got a lot to contribute to the tourism department.
At Umpung village, and here we have a young entrepreneur who's managing this resort, Bapan Hun.
Yes.
Bapan Hun has been managing this resort with her family. This whole property belongs to the Kur,
Sanglin Basan.
Sanglin Basan, and we've been supporting our good friend Robertson Basan, who's not here with us today. He's in Nongrum, busy planting trees, but his other project is to save this river, and he's been working on this project with his family and clan members for a while. But today is our first trip here. It's beautiful, but sadly we saw a lot of bottles and plastic being thrown around along this beautiful river beach here, and we want to see how we can work together to help clean up this mess and figure out what she's been doing. So can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing these years with the Clean Up River campaign and the tree planting program?
So basically, this area out here, it's a Saviba resort. Saviba Eco Angling. So
Okay.
mostly the anglers, they come around and then they, they fish, and then they go for kayaking, and we provide all sorts of that, like fishing and boating, kayaking and camping site. Mostly it's a camping site ground. It's a
Yes.
campground thing.
Okay.
So what we do is, once our customers or our targeted, as to say, customers, when they come here, we give them certain rules and grounds based on the declaration form, the disclaimer form we give them. So if they impose any bottles or any, like, example, as you can see, the chairs out there, it has been broken.
All broken,
Yeah.
plastic chairs.
The plastic chairs are broken. Why? Because once they party and then they drink or they do this, do that. So it's, we impose a fine that will be separate according to Saviba Resort.
Yeah.
Whereas when we come to the riverside, this is called the Friends of the Umni River. It's part of Umpung. So many fishermen, they come.
Speaking to Robertson Basan, manager comes secretary of the Viva Eco Angling Tourism Association, which promotes eco-adventure tourism. This is what he got to say.
I'm Mr. Robertson Basan from Umpung Village, and the owner or the manager or the secretary of the Saviva Eco Angling Tourism Association, where we had done a project on trees plantation, then on saving the rivers from so many other overfishing and nettings. Then we have been saving the birds and the animals in these forests. But the latest things that we've been doing is for climate change, where we have done lots of tree plantation, and this we had done with started with Umpung Village and Nongna Village. So in Umpung Village, there we can see these hills. I've been living down in these hills for a long time, for the last 20 years, and here I am for the last 15 years. We've been doing this project on our own. Now that we have connected with Mr. Bramley Lingdot, Dr. Bramley Lingdot, we are so fortunate enough, I'm thankful enough to him for giving us a chance to be a part of World Youth Day, which we call it, as International World Youth Day celebration on the 12th of August. But we have done this because due to COVID-19 issue that we had, and here in our place, in our districts of Meghalaya, this part of the district, which we call it Southwest Khasi Hills, we are still COVID-free zone. Like there's no one yet here, so we could do this celebration now instead of doing it later on 12th August, because we don't know, it might grow and we're having a confinement zone. So due to this, we are doing all these projects in order to see that changes started from us here locally for the global issue. Thank you so much. I'm here with the Nongte village kids, which you can see out here. We are standing at the edge of a cliff, of which we can also oversee Umpung village. So Umpung is right there down. See, there's a river island. So next there is Umpung village. So My work deals with ecotourism and the environment. So I'm here greeting all these kids. We'll have to say it together as they don't know English. Greeting from Longkte village and Umpung village. Happy World UN Youth Day. Thank you, Mr. Bramley Lingda. Thank you, Mr. Bramley Lingda. So this is it, and we're standing on the edge of the cliff, which is so beautiful, and we can see so many other things. So here we are. Bye.
Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you today. Until we meet again, thank you for watching.